Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking a look at another bootleg Gunpla. This is the Force Impulse high grade from Star, I believe. I'm not 100% sure because, as always, it came without a box, even though I requested one. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the Force Impulse is from like the Gundam Seed series, but I don't think, like, someone can correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? But I don't think this was like one of the main suits, or if it was like one of the originals. Um, but yeah, me being me, I don't buy these based off like nostalgia or anything like that. I buy them based on how they look, and I thought the Force Impulse looked really cool. I'm trying to decide whether to get, I think it's a bootleg of the Build Strike Gundam, but I think it's a few years old, so not really sure if anyone would want to see that. It's either that or the real grade, which, yes, I am well aware, old real grades are an absolute nightmare to put together and pose, but it's one of my only choices at this point. So yeah, if anyone wants to chime in the comments, they are more than welcome to do so. But yeah, back to this guy. I'll be honest, I like how simplistic it looks, and I like the unique backpack that's on it. It's less wings and more like basically just a fighter jet attached to his back, which is even more so the case when you think that this is what brings it in. Literally a space fighter. So yeah, I do really like it. And for a bootleg that cost me £6, I'll be honest, this is quite good. Like, the joints are actually really tight, and the only polycaps that are used in this build is for the waist and the legs. The arms are complete plastic, which is a welcome change, especially for these bootlegs. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this guy off the turntable and take a look at the accessories, since we don't have a box. So yeah, in terms of accessories, he, just like the previous bootleg that I reviewed, the Immortal Justice, he comes with a lot and at the same time not enough, if that makes sense. He doesn't come with any extra hands, again. Like, quite bizarre that up until this point I've been building these kits with extra hands and such, and all of a sudden I get two kits back to back that don't have any. A bit strange. But yeah, he comes with essentially two versions of his shield. This one, which I have built, I have put some extra stickers on him, just the usual. There's some real grade style stickers on there that I pinched from various kits, as well as some water slides that came with them. It's always good that these bootleg kits seem to come with water slides. I just wish I had the patience to put them on properly. Some of the more finicky ones, you'd literally as well bring in a microscope, try and get them on properly. But yeah, and when they do stick, they then end up sticking to the cotton bud, which someone told me that is the correct way to put water slides on. You slide them on, you then dab off all the excess water with a cotton bud, very gingerly. But yeah, it's just an absolute nightmare, and I hate it. Even though the water slides do end up looking good, I would rather take stickers, and I know that's blasphemy. A lot of Gunpla builders just brought out their pitchforks there, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, as always, I completely forgot to mention, link will be in the description if you want to purchase this guy. I'll say it right off the bat, I do recommend it. It's a fantastic little kit, especially for £6. It's not loose or anything, so yeah, definitely recommend it. Although there is a real grade one, so if anyone wants me to review that, I may consider it. Yeah, we will see. But yeah, back to this. This is, I believe, his open version of the shield. He has two versions, a closed and open one. I am not going to swap over the parts because, like, it's not the bootleg's fault. It's Bandai's originally being cheap. Instead of making this move, which the real grade one does, they decided to pack a second version of its closed form, which is quite a bit smaller, but they didn't pack extra parts. So you have to swap all those red, grey and yellow parts over to this one, which is an absolute nightmare. So yeah, won't be doing that, but it is cool that it's included. Strangely enough, like, I'm seeing this more and more in these high grade kits, the handle is moulded onto the back of the shield, but then they don't use it at all. Not sure why they do that, to be completely honest with you. Like, just don't bother putting it in there, it just looks weird. But yeah, does look nice. I do much prefer this version of the shield. So yeah, he comes with two sort of jet fighters. As far as I'm aware, this is the one that brings in his backpack for when he needs it, because this is one of the few Gundams that don't always have the backpack on. So yeah, they are completely moulded in the same colour plastic as the mobile suit, which is a bit disappointing. Bit of colour separation, wouldn't have gone amiss, but then again, I'm not going to use these. 3mm port on the bottom, so you can have it flying in. Same with this, which I believe is his actual backpack. Bit strange that they would again give you two pieces. They kind of cheaped out with that. But again, something you'll only need to use every so often if you're wanting specific poses. So yeah, nice that it's included. Just a bit of a shame that they went the lazy route with them. He has his rifle, which is quite nice. It's on one colour of grey, with a little sticker for the sight, and they even give you a little sticker for the side, just to add a bit of colour to it. But yeah, pretty basic, but it's nice enough. Gets the point across of what it is, and because there is a grip sort of guard on it, you do have to separate the hands to get it in there, but that's simple enough to do. He also comes with two beam swords, which quite nicely fit onto his backpack. Kind of reminds me of the RX-782 with that sort of design. But yeah, looks nice. Do like that. And obviously it comes with two blades, which unfortunately have a little bit of bubbling inside. So not the best plastic ever, but it's decent enough, and it's a nice sort of magenta purple, I would say. So yeah, really nice. Good to include. Apparently this guy has one of the more goofy mobile armor modes or transformations. The top half and bottom half literally split apart and fly away, so I will not be doing that in this review. But yeah, you do get some additional parts for doing that. 3mm pegs. They are not supposed to peg into each other, but just to show you, they are 3mm. But yeah, those just attach to various parts of the suit, just to have him airborne. So yeah, that does it for accessories. I told you, it looks like a lot, but it's really nothing. Bit strange, but hey-oh. Let's take a look at the kit itself now. So yeah, in terms of the kit, like I said before, it's a really, really well made kit. For being a bootleg, that's one of the cheaper bootlegs that I've reviewed, I honestly can't fault it. Like, the plastic is good. It's quite high quality. I'm not entirely sure where this Star company came from. I've heard rumblings that it might be Daban, or Huyan, one of those two, which are some of the more OG Gunpla bootleggers, but they were, as far as I'm aware, raided by Bandai. So yeah, they obviously had to reform under different names. But yeah, the panel liner went on really well, mostly. There are a couple little bits that sort of created fractures. So again, as I said before, if you are wanting to detail up these bootlegs, I would highly recommend getting the standard sort of felt, the fine-tipped felt pen, instead of the porn marker for bootlegs. It's just not worth the potential damage that it can cause, because it's obviously poorer quality plastic. But yeah, this one in particular worked quite well. So yeah, let's get him off the stand, because this guy cannot stand up to save himself. I will hold him in place though. So yeah, that is one of the only hairline fractures that happened to this kit. None on the head or anything like that. The head is a bit of a strange one. It's quite square, and the sort of face mask, the muzzle, didn't have any lines on it, so it looks kind of bare, but at the same time it's a decent looking head sculpt. I don't like the V-fins. They didn't put they did. They had a sort of safety nubs on the end of the yellow ones, if I remember correctly. I built this a few days ago and haven't really had much sleep since, so yay! Running on empty. Yeah, there were safety nubs on the yellow one. I don't believe there was any on the white ones. There might have been. But yeah, because of that, you can't really get them sharp looking at the edges. They're kind of squared off, which is a bit of a shame. I wish I knew how to do that properly. But yeah, you live and learn. It is a really nice looking sculpt though, and it's very sharp. The eyes are also very well done, and they were nicely applied. But yeah, as for like the real grade stickers, I put a couple on the shoulders and a couple on his sort of skirt flaps here. But apart from that, I put a couple on the wings, and that was your whack. Didn't really need a lot to add to this guy. He's quite a plain looking suit, so I didn't want to overdo it. But yeah, quite pleased with it. The only stickers that I really didn't like, the standard stickers that is, are these bits for the red on the wings. They are just fold over stickers, and parts of them are starting to peel up already, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously the real grade version wouldn't have that issue, but you are paying a lot more money for it. So yeah, maybe use a paint pen on that. I don't have a red, or I would have attempted it. But yeah, it is what it is. I also don't really like this yellow. I might be taking that off and just painting it gold or something like that. We will see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, overall, details are really nice and crisp. There isn't any real fuzziness to it. Just realised I didn't panel line these grey parts on the back. Oh well, you live and you learn. But yeah, in terms of articulation, let's take off this backpack just so we can see it. You can see this grey part here is meant to stay on the mobile suit, but it's very tight on mine, so it doesn't. But yeah, if you take that apart, let's see if I can get it off. There we go. So yeah, this part here is supposed to be this folded down. It's just a hollow piece. And yeah, I'm not sure why they couldn't just engineer it to work that way, but hey-o, it happens. And without the backpack, that's how it's supposed to look. So yeah, nice enough. As for this one, those two pegs, peg holes, go into these two pegs in here. Just fits together like so, and tries to pop itself back out. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. Obviously, I will not be doing that because it looks horrendous, because this is unpainted grey plastic, but it is a feature if you need it. Before we get onto the suit itself, let's just quickly talk about the backpack. I do like the sort of more bizarre design to it. Just looks like a jet, as I said. These wings do move. I wish they moved down a bit more, but they do not. They also tend to pop themselves out a bit, so you have to pop them back in as you're moving it upwards to get that properly. These two down here are on ball joints, so they do move back the way, they do move forward. They don't really go out though, that's about as much as you get, but they do go in a bit. So yeah, I just like angling it to the same direction as the rest of the wings. And yeah, that is your whack with that. Quite like it. As for the suit itself, in terms of articulation, you can look up quite nicely. You can look down. The neck peg is a bit strange in this guy. It tends to pop his head back up. But yeah, you can look down. Swivel, pivot, standard thing, just a ball peg. Nothing too fancy. The arms, without moving the shoulder, can go up that far. Using the shoulder joint, can go up really far. There is a bit of a gap here, which I can't seem to get to stay closed for any length of time. But yeah, you can get it up that far. Swivel. Butterfly joint doesn't really do much because they're using the hinge for the shoulder instead. So that's about as far as you get. You can obviously use the elbow joint to get more range, but that would be cheating. We have bicep swivel, a double joint at the elbow, which if it wasn't for the shoulder armour would be able to get all the way, but that is really good range anyway. Ball peg at the wrist, which pops in and out quite nicely. The one thing that annoys me on this suit more than anything is this waist joint. It pops out really easily because it's supposed to. The entire suit's meant to split apart to do its sort of flying gimmick, but I really don't like it. You get a pivot, but it just pops itself back out constantly. You do get a bit of an ab crunch, but obviously you do have to bear in mind that waist joint will pop off. That's not even the original waist joint. I actually tried using like a real replacement part from one of the extras that was left from another kit, and it still didn't work properly. This one, the polycap, was an absolute nightmare. He says as he drops it. There we go. Definitely a dropsy the last few days. Yeah, this polycap was an absolute nightmare. it would not fit into this hole. I'm not sure if it was the polycap itself or the hole that was too tight, but I had to sand it down just to get it to fit in, and it now will not move, like, at all. So yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to slide off to the side. But yeah, if you pop them apart like that, that is unfortunately as far as you get in terms of the splits. Ah, there, that's just popped out. That's probably not going to go back in now. That's, yeah, that is brilliant. Oh, there we go. It's popped in. Can I swerve those out of the way? And there we go. So yeah, you can get the splits to that much if you move those out of the way. Just bear in mind, these are polycaps, so come on, give me a break. So yeah, if you are not careful with it, it will pop apart. But then it is a model kit, so I'm not going to treat it too harshly. These skirt pieces can be cut down the middle to have them move freely. We can kick that far normally. It does have like the weird, you pull down one way and it goes up the other to get slightly more range out of it, but it then makes the entire thing look odd. I have never understood why they use that design. Do have a thigh rotation, double joint at the knee, gets about that much before you start popping the polycap apart. There we go. Feet do have a hinge back and forward. This piece is pretty much in place. It can move back and forwards, but that is your whack. Feet can not get too much of range there. It's a bit of a shame. You can probably force it a bit more, but it's mostly due to this part here. And then the feet can move all the way down. So yeah, overall, a decent little kit. For the six quid that I paid for it, I would highly recommend it. It's one of those just really simplistic looking mobile suits that really ends up working out quite well. And yeah, overall guys, definitely one I would recommend. So yeah, as I said before, link is in the description if you end up wanting to purchase this guy. Try to get him stand up. Like I said before, let me know what other kits you would like me to review. Just comment whatever you want. Just let me know what kind of model kits you like, and yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. So yeah guys, I'll stop my rambling now and try and go back to bed before I die off. So until next time guys, I'll see y'all later.